Welcome to this session. My name is Barbara Gochalia. Today we are looking at the functions of central banks. We are still looking at the monetary system, right? So in our previous class, we saw the monetary policy instruments and how the central bank uses these instruments to regulate money supply, right? So in every country, there is a central bank, right? And this central bank basically is on top, or is the apex institution of the financial or the monetary system, right? So let's look at the functions of the central bank. Number one is the central bank is a monopoly of note issue. In other words, the central bank is the autonomy. It is the monopoly in issuing out currency, right? Whereby this currency can be in terms of paper money or in terms of coins, right? So it prints money and it mints coins, right? So that is one of the functions of the central bank. And there are many advantages of the note issue. Why the central bank issues out currency, issues out these paper currency and the coins. Right? One, the first advantage is that the central bank will control the credit creating power of commercial banks, each being the overall monopoly of currency issuing. It will be able to control the credit creating power of commercial banks, like we saw in what it does with the monetary policy instruments. And then also people will have more confidence in the currency that is issued by the central bank itself, right? Of course, we have counterfeit money that is done by people that are known to by those fake people, but at the end of the day, it is the money that is printed, that is issued by the central bank, that will be considered legal tender. Then also this actually leads to uniformity in the currency system in the country, in a way that the currency will be the same. The currency issued by the central bank will be the same. It will have uniformity. And then also with the central bank issuing out this money, of course, it helps to meet the needs of businesses. It helps to meet the needs of businesses. Of course, it being able to control the money supply, we've seen that it is able to boost business, to encourage investment, to encourage people to get loans, businessmen and businesswomen to get loans, right? And all these advantages that the central bank are that are achieved by the central bank, being the monopoly of issuance of currency, are enjoyed by the government itself. The central bank also is an advisor to the government. It is a banker, it is an agent and an advisor to the government. We see that, for example, a number of government transactions are carried out, they are issued, they are done by the central bank. So the central bank is the bank to the government, it is an agent to the government, and it is an advisor to the government. The central bank is also a custodian of cash reserve of commercial banks. It is a custodian of cash reserve of commercial banks. When we're looking at the monetary policy, we saw that the central bank, for example, uses the legal reserve requirement to regulate money supply, where we saw that the legal reserve requirement is that proportion, that percentage of every deposit that is made by the commercial bank clients that is required of them to deposit with the central bank. And therefore, this means that the central bank will be a custodian, will be in charge of controlling the cash reserves of the commercial banks, right? Of course, through using the bank rate or the discount rate, or using the legal reserve requirement. The central bank is also a custodian of the nation's reserve of international central bank. The nation's reserve of international central bank. Here, by reserves, we mean for the foreign currencies obtained from various countries, the dollars, the euros, the yens, the Japanese yens, the pounds, all those sorts of foreign currencies that are obtained from various countries or are actually kept by the central bank. The central bank is also a lender of last resort. A lender of last resort means that when, for example, some of these commercial banks become bankrupt because of a number of factors, then the central bank can lend them money to actually prevent them from collapsing, or from getting bankrupt, or from collapsing, right? So it is a lender of last resort, in a way that when these commercial banks are almost getting bankrupt, the central bank will lend them. It can lend them money. So that's what we mean by the central bank being a lender of last resort. All right, the central bank is a clearing house, has a clearing house function, in a way that it does settle the mutual transactions of banks, right? Because, for example, we shall see that when someone deposits a check with a commercial bank, that check, of course, when you are paid a check, you deposit it with your bank. Within your account, you deposit your account in the commercial bank, where you save your money, where you have an account. And we shall see that the central bank now actually helps to work on that check, to make sure that the money is transferred from where you are. It transferred, of course, from the person that has paid you money that person who has paid you money transfers money from that person's account to your account. So these checks are actually processed by the central bank, and that's why it is called that's why it has that function of being a clearing house, All right. Okay, we shall continue from there next time. Thank you for listening.